1 o'clock here on Three Man Front. College football bubble bath. Demetri Ravanos going to be joining us momentarily. It has been a very busy show, as it typically is on Thursdays. Rodney Orr of Tiger Insider in the 11 o'clock hour. Also, Coach David Cutcliffe. He is going to be honored coming up Monday for the Nick Saban Legacy Award. He joined the show, and a fascinating conversation. Could have done that all day long. Could do that every day and listen to those stories. Brian Haydad from the state of Mississippi, talking Mississippi State and SEC. Rob Pate in the last hour, and Demetri coming up. Your texts are rolling in, 205-834-9450. Hot topic yesterday with the quotes that we got from the Auburn coordinator, and those quotes continuing to resonate around not only the state, but the college football world on the play calling and the rotation and who calls the plays, who is designated to call the plays. Text rolling in says, this play calling thing is nothing more than ice cream. People trying to stir it up. All right. Funny text that does not relate to any of this, but I appreciate it. Thank you very much. Yeah, somebody going back to the expansion of the college football playoff, and me throwing it out there tongue in cheek. Let's just let everybody go to bowl games. Would that satisfy everybody? Somebody say nobody wants to see Akron versus Wake Forest. I don't know. It depends. Are you in the hole to the man, so to speak? You're always looking for opportunities, right, Pat? Not you specifically, but people that we know, they're looking for opportunities.
Investment opportunities, yes.
That's why during the pandemic, some people gravitated to Chechnyan darts.
Or Korean baseball.
I actually watched Korean baseball.
I get up and watch about 3:30 in the morning, get up and watch Tom Hart.
Yep.
Do games from his basement.
The Monkeys was my team.
Yeah.
I can't remember where they were from. And then someone saying, which of the three offensive coordinators called the play that made Hugh Freeze throw his visor?
Maybe it was himself.
It could have been.
Yeah.
Was he mad at himself?
Yeah, I can't believe I made that call.
Dang it.
All right, we've got a special guest.
He is very special.
In more ways than one.
Mm-hmm.
From SEC Unfiltered, college football bubble bath. I'm not sure if he's in the bubble bath now or he's dry. I'm not sure.
Are you? I am fully dry, pacing back and forth on my front porch.
How's the weather today in the wonderful state of North Carolina?
Literally, I usually talk to you boys on my back deck, and literally it just started storming. So I came underneath the covered area.
Oh, okay. Well, it's just about 120% of humidity down here in Birmingham right now. You remember the Alabama weather, Demetri?
Of course, nothing better than feeling like you're walking into someone's house. Lets me know I'm at home.
Yes, very much so. Before we talk a little football, I was watching a podcast that you were on, and you guys had some interesting things I think you guys were talking about Howard Stern, and you were talking about some other things. But I wanted to get your thoughts on last night's New Heights podcast with the Kelseys and Taylor Swift. Did you watch it? And if so, what were your impressions?
I've seen the clips probably just like everybody else. With all due respect to the money in their bank account, I don't think the Kelseys are very good at this. Like, it's hard for me to get through an episode, but Taylor's Taylor. She knows how to act in front of a camera and on a microphone. She's really good at it and raised the profile of that show a little bit.
Okay. So you give it high marks in regards to obviously her stardom and her communication level. That was what carried it last night.
Yeah, I mean, regardless of what you think of her as a musical talent, like, she's good. She's an entertaining person. And so, yeah, of course, it's hard to strike out with someone like that on the show.
If they do get married, as far as celebrity weddings, I think of Jay-Z and Beyonce. That was pretty big, right?
Yeah.
There's been countless others, but where would this rank as far as just how big she is? And he's kind of a pretty big deal in the NFL.
Yeah, I think, though, that without her, his star power is limited. However, you hit on it, Landrum. Her star power is so through the roof that you still have to think, like, it's above. So it's not Jay-Z, Beyonce, but it is above Lyle Lovett, Julia Roberts.
Man, I completely forgot that they were married.
Yes, they were. And it was like, Julia, what are you doing?
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's going to be a huge deal. Whenever Taylor Swift gets married or has a kid, the E! Network, Entertainment Tonight, etc., they will all shut down for the day to go full coverage on that.
Man, that's a blast from the past. Completely forgot about those two.
Yeah. Oh, hi, hair.
Yeah.
I love it.
All right.
I'm a big Lyle Lovett fan.
Yeah. So before we get to the football, and I mentioned it because I know you've been discussing it before. So what do you think's next for Howard Stern? Because apparently he's being let go or not renewed by SiriusXM.
I mean, I'm sure he's gonna do his own thing. I mean, look, we talked about this last week, right? Like I came up through the world of rock radio, and in the 90s, like everybody was trying to be Howard Stern. And I have a lot of respect for what it is and what he does, and I have a lot of respect for the way he has evolved. The fact that he's, 71 years old, and you can't make a show throwing baloney at strippers when you're 71. But at the same time, we're not making a ton of new Howard Stern fans, so I'm not sure unless he goes out on his own, in the podcast or YouTube space or whatever. I'm not sure who's banging down the door to pay him as much as he was getting at SiriusXM. The ratings are not a problem. The contract is a relic of a bygone era. Like, you can't pay talent $250 million a year anymore. It doesn't make sense.
We consider you not only a dear friend, but part of our family. And Demetri, this one hits kind of close to home because this episode that you have on the college football bloodbath.
That could be another one. Maybe,
that one's been done so many times.
How about this? How about at Halloween, he fills the bathtub up with looks like blood.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They call it the bloodbath.
Yeah.
I like it. Look, they sell colored bubbles now. That's how we can do it.
Okay. All right. Done.
Okay. Well, there's your idea for Halloween.
Yeah. You're welcome.
The college football bubble bath. This edition, maybe Nick Saban is the one telling Greg McElroy he isn't done coaching. You are stirring up. You are kicking the hornet's nest. We thought that we had this thing put to bed, put to rest, but here comes Demetri. Our listeners who haven't watched it or listened, give them an idea.
I mean, I never once thought that McElroy was lying when he said he had heard that from someone close to Saban. Never thought he was exaggerating or anything like that. It's just the more I thought about it, and the more you have seen denials from people around Saban up here in North Carolina. The morning show on the sports radio station in Charlotte grilled Bryce Young about this, and Bryce said that it doesn't sound like Nick, blah, blah, blah. I wonder how much of it is Nick wants to get back into coaching versus Nick wants to be wanted, right? And he loves Greg. Greg is one of his guys. If Nick wanted to just see what was out there, in the episode, I compare it to owning a vintage car. You're not looking to sell, but if the right offer comes along, who knows? And that's why, to me, it makes some sense that if Greg McElroy really heard it, why is it crazy to think it could have come from Saban?
All right. I can't argue that.
No.
Just like everybody was poo-pooing the idea back when Texas was kicking the tires on Saban. I mean, because we were covering that on a daily basis on Feinbaum. And the stuff that we're being told behind the scenes, that there's some legitimacy to that.
What Demetri's saying to me is it's very plausible.
Absolutely.
Not saying that we're speculating.
Yeah, it's not probable, but
it's plausible.
Right.
Yeah, it's incredibly plausible. Like, I think that Nick probably looks at, who has won the last couple of national championships, who was in the national championship game last year, right? Ryan Day, who was on the verge of a fan revolt, Marcus Freeman, who in the last 3 years has lost to both Marshall and Northern Illinois. Like, you got to think he thinks he could still operate at the top of this sport. I'm sure Miss Terry is done with being a coach's wife, but if the right money came along, who's to say he couldn't talk her into it?
Yeah, the only argument with that, though, Demetri, not being ornery towards you, but just that argument, he's got plenty of money.
Of course.
I mean, it's not like he's trying to, come up with enough money to buy a really nice place in Jupiter, Florida, or to buy a Mercedes-Benz dealership.
But to that point, Howard Stern at 71 has got plenty of more, I think more money than Nick Saban has, but is it a drug for some of these guys, like a drug where you experience that level of success being at the top of your profession, being wanted? Maybe there is something to that and having that feeling again.
The Elon Musk, it's not like he stopped trying to do business deals with the government, right?
True.
Like he's got more money than anyone has ever had before, and he's not done making money. I don't think Nick Saban is like that level of craven about wanting to make money, but I do think that, you talk about a drug. I think the drug for these guys is competition, and the money, the dollar figure, the paycheck is the excuse to not give it up.
Good point. So are you excited with the start of the college football season like we are? Are you counting down the hours? You ready to go? Farmageddon there in Dublin?
Very excited. Here in Raleigh every year we do the Sports Podcast Festival, which will happen on the Saturday of week 0. But it's not just that. Like we are trying to put together, well, where are we all going to watch Farmageddon? And as soon as the show is over, where are we all going to go to watch Stanford and Hawaii? Yeah, man, I'm dead.
Hey, final question, and we were talking about this a little bit earlier, and I'm sure you saw this last night. It was starting to break all over the place, that Oklahoma is offering a fan the opportunity to purchase the opportunity to go to a post-game press conference against Michigan for a low price of $692.11. What's your take on that?
I mean, if I'm a fan, I better be assured they are going to win. Because if I've just shelled out $700 and now Brent Venables has to hear me complain about it, he's definitely know it.
Well, Demetri, listen, I know you're in a storm right now in Raleigh. Always appreciate you carving out a couple minutes for us, and we'll talk to you again soon.
Boys, looking forward to it. By the way, have you had me on your mind this week? You have my old podcast partner, Tyler McComas, on. You have my old buddy, David Cutcliffe, on. This feels like a Demetri reunion.
You're always on our mind.
Yeah, all the time. What are you talking about?
Every time I run the bath, I'm like,
Listen, I'm not going to lie to you. I figured. I just wanted to hear you boys say it out loud.
Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. No, I mean, with you being on the same show as David Cutcliffe and McComas, we're trying to take McComas under our wings. He hung out with us. He shadowed us in Atlanta at SEC Media Days. I mean, we're trying to get some of those bad habits that you put on him. We're trying to get him right.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. Tyler and I are polar opposite kinds of college football fans, where he wanted to do deep breakdowns of everybody's too deep, and I wanted to compare college football coaches to Disney World rides, and somehow we put a show together out of it.
Listen, it was good too.
There's a lot of days that I would rather go down the road that you preferred to go down.
Yeah, I'm always that's how I like college football. It's lean into the stupid.
All right, Demetri, we'll enjoy the rest of your afternoon, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right, boys. Talk to you soon.
See ya. That's Demetri Ravanos. Join us on the Higginbotham Hotline. Our guests deserve solutions that are built for you, so Higginbotham is your one-source solution for insurance, financial, and HR services.
More of your text. We also have questions from Pat that we try to answer. You don't want to miss that. Pat Potter's on the way. 3-man front on this Thursday on Jocks. Three-man front, thanks for joining us wherever you may be. Our listeners down in Mobile, the Alabama Gulf Coast, those listening in Montgomery, up in North Alabama, in Tuscaloosa, around Jocks Country. You're all Jocks family, and college football season, it'll be here next week, which is really exciting. A lot of text coming in, a lot of them super exciting as well. 205-834-9450. This is a wellness check on Pat from one of our listeners. Want to check on Pat, make sure he's doing okay after my Rockies won the series against his Cards for 2 years. Freeze hyped up, this is a combined text. For 2 years, Freeze hyped up Thorne the same way he's hyping Arnold. Thorne wasn't the issue if you look at the stats. Freeze is Auburn's issue, and they won't get over the hump until he's gone. Last year, he barely ran. Jarquez Hunter and had horrific game management and play calling. Lifelong Auburn fan, and I can't stand Freeze. Thank you for the text.
I am doing fine. I have grown accustomed. I've become callous on these losses the last 3 years. Could always be worse. But yeah, it's been a disappointing season.
This text, totally overblown story. Hugh calls the plays. Again, it would not be a story if the coach or the offensive coordinator had not said what he said.
I think Rob Pate hit everything
he did.
on the head because we all want this extra access, but let's just be honest. Sometimes
you don't want to know.
The assistant coaches, they are not as seasoned as the head coaches when it comes to dealing with the media, and sometimes they're a little bit too honest, and that's what happened in this Auburn situation. You had Ken Austin, you had Derek Nix, both admitting to something that they probably should not have brought up.
Darren from Tennessee says, I've got a Worst Thing I've Seen nomination. Heard about this on a podcast. Did y'all know in 1896, Auburn students greased the train tracks leading to town to sabotage the Georgia Tech football team's arrival before their game? The train carrying the Georgia Tech team slid past the station due to the greased tracks, and the team had to walk back, arriving tired and exhausted. Auburn won the game 45-0. This incident has become a legendary prank in college football history. Darren, we have heard that story. I'm sure that Pat has. I know I have. I don't know about the youngins, but yes, it was this legendary story, and that is where the term gamesmanship came about.
Really?
I didn't know that.
I added gamesmanship.
Okay, I was about to say, I'd heard the story. I was like, that seems like that would have come along before then.
Yeah.
But I was going to give you credit for it. You had me.
Think about back then. How many footballs did they actually travel with? If you just stole the football, could they play?
It's a great point. Have someone that has to go chase the that's like when we were in high school, we had to go. If you were playing baseball and you weren't on the field, you were shagging fly balls because we weren't buying a whole bunch of them every single game. We needed them.
Next listener, freeze is a joke. Roll Tide. Thank you. Drake says, guys, I'm just throwing it out there, but what will be the outcome if Auburn loses to Baylor by 2 touchdowns?
They'll be 0-1.
They'll be 0-1.
Be an interesting Monday on the show.
Yeah. Be 0-1, and a lot of people will start freaking out. But in this new world of college football, just because you lose one game, even if it's the opener, you've got 11 more that you can put yourself in a position to get back in the college football playoff.
And I've said it, and I've maintained it, and I'll continue to maintain it. I think that this particular game, though, for Auburn in particular, is huge, just given the last 2 seasons, a lack of success, and a lot of those same guys in that locker room. So, yeah, I would be concerned if they lose that first game.
Would you say the Baylor game is the biggest game that Auburn's played in the Hugh Freeze era?
Absolutely.
I agree.
I mean, it's all – this is the culmination, the building up, the point to year 3. Year 3, 4 recruiting classes.
I just feel like first impression this year is so very important.
And look, Baylor is projected – I've heard more people than not say that they expect Baylor to be a top 25 team at the end of the season and be vying for a Big 12 championship appearance at least. So – This will be a great test on a Friday night when everybody's excited. They're wearing the chrome helmets. Waco's rocking, and you're going to have to go in there with a lot of young guys, some veterans, but young guys, and face adversity and battle through it. Can they do that? Do they have enough talent to do it? I do believe that they do. But how much better are they? We'll find out. Steve from Tuscaloosa, going back to Oklahoma and what they're offering fans, I'd pay $690 if I can dress out, they let me sit on the field, hand off the ball to me, and have both offensive and defensive players cheer me on as I run down the field and score. Somebody said I'd do it so fast for Alabama on the sideline.
See, and that was my thing, is we
They
can
know
sit here and
people are
make
going
up.
to do this.
Absolutely.
And there's some people that would do it, and they wouldn't admit that they did it.
Correct. But no, there are absolutely people that I wouldn't be surprised if there's somebody that heard us talking about on the show today and said, I'm doing that.
I think warm-up is a lot better value than the whole press conference thing.
Yeah, I think we can all vouch for that's maybe not as, not saying it's not important, but from a fan perspective, I don't know if that's going to be super exciting.
But for a big game like going to Ohio State, was that Ohio State and Texas they're offering
Yes, you
that?
get to be on the sideline.
You're going to be there in pregame warm-ups, and you're
That's
standing
awesome.
between the 10 and the 20 watching.
You get to pat Arch Manning on the butt on the way out. Yeah, like, it's great. Yeah.
Maybe you get hit by an errant punt. Somebody misses a ball. That's an experience. That's something to tell the family about.
Yeah.
Hey, look at this. I've got partial vision out of this eye, but you know how it happened?
On the sideline of Texas, Ohio State.
Should have known it when we were getting reports that Arch was throwing high in practice. That's how I got this. Hook 'em.
Yeah. And you know, for Texas people, they will, whatever that cost, they would pay for that. They would go nuts for that. Just like Alabama and Auburn people would here.
Great interview, guys. Going back to our sit down that we had with Coach David Cutcliffe. You can find that on the Jocks text line. All portions of our show. Tay says, enjoyed the interview with Coach Cutcliffe. Great insight on some of the intangibles of coaching to build a team. Alabama offers a locker room experience to certain fans.
Yeah, we talked about that. I know a lot of people would be very interested in that.
Let's see. Freeze will be fine in year 3. Bama fans know it, and they're worried. LOL. Do you think LSU wins their first game this year, or do they lose it again? I'm predicting they lose it again.
Yep. I think it's going to be a fantastic game, though.
Clemson, LSU, and Texas, Ohio State are the 2 biggest games ever to mean absolutely nothing. There's some fairness to that.
That's a good point.
Auburn, Baylor, a lot more on the line for those 2 teams. If you go chalk and what is on the rosters, I would think that all 4 of those teams, Clemson, LSU, Texas, and Ohio State, still with a loss to any of those, very manageable to get to a college football playoff this season.
And a couple of those teams might even find themselves in a situation where they can go 9-3 and even find themselves in a playoff. So, yeah.
Thanks for all the text. Keep them rolling in. 205-834-9450.
Well, you can celebrate the kickoff to college football with us at the Bill Smith Buick GMC Jocks Kickoff Party. It's at Regions Field on Thursday, August 21st, and the only way to go is by winning tickets. To win a pair of tickets for you and a guest, text the keyword season. Remember, not like seize the day, but college football season. And your full name to 205-834-9450. Once again, season and your full name to 205-834-9450.
Does that ticket get them into the post-kickoff party press conference?
I bet we can make something work.
Maybe warm-ups. That'll be a fun time next week. It's always a fun time when Pat asks questions. We try to answer them, as awkward as they may be. Pat Ponders is next.
You know, about a week ago, ESPN and the NFL decided to do a little business with each other. ESPN would take over the NFL Network and the NFL Red Zone channel in exchange for 10% equity stake in ESPN. So the NFL owns 10% of ESPN. And everybody got all excited because of, hey, the potential of maybe a college football Red Zone channel. We heard Scott Hansen. He did an interview earlier in the week. He was excited about the potential. But the problem with that, as we all know, is that Fox Television owns the rights to the Big Ten and some of the Big 12. So that would be problematic if you're ESPN and you're going to try to run a college football Red Zone channel because, granted, if you want to do SEC, ACC, no problem. Knock yourself out. MAC, those type of conferences, but you would miss 2 of the other big ones, which would be the Big 10 and the Big 12. Well, there's a story out this afternoon that says that Fox Sports has made it known to everybody involved that they will not license the Big 10 or the Big 12 to ESPN for a potential college football Red Zone channel. The only caveat that they did say was that they would have to have a financial investment, a huge one. In other words, ESPN would have to maybe go halvesies with Fox Television to make something like that happen. So that tells me that this is not going to happen. So all the college football fans that got excited for about 6 days thinking that was the potential, it appears that will not happen.
Maybe one day when we get that 30-team college football playoff and every team gets to go to a bowl, we'll have college football red zone. Here's to dreams. 5 questions from Pat. This is what we call Pat Ponders.
I want to know what you're thinking. Tell me what's on your mind.
It's time for Pat Ponders.
Brought to you by Courtesy GMC in Trussville. Get by and see Drew Liley, Josh Gargis, and the fantastic team there. Even say hello to Tommy Rowan over in Internet Sales. He'll take care of you as well. Go to courtesybirmingham.com for check out all the deals there, or go on site, their 9-acre inventory at Courtesy GMC in Trussville. Question number 1. If Alabama and Auburn fans could replace their current coach with any other coach in college football, who would the fan base choose to lead their team?
Alabama would be Kirby.
I think Auburn would be Kirby too, don't you?
Probably.
I think both would be Kirby.
Yeah.
For me personally, there's a lot of good coaches in college football. I still view Kirby as he is on a level all of his own still. Mm-hmm. He is clearly the cream of the crop, in my opinion.
So both schools.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
Who would be next if we can't use Kirby?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to think. I would Dan Lanning, Marcus Freeman.
Are you talking about for both schools?
Yeah, I'm just kind of throwing names out there in
I
general.
think Dillingham would get some votes, especially from Auburn folks.
Mm-hmm.
Alabama would not hire Dillingham.
No.
See, I think
That ain't
I
happening.
could see Alabama fans maybe gravitating more towards a Dan Lanning and maybe Auburn fans more towards a Marcus Freeman. I think Auburn fans would be happy with Dan Lanning too, but I just wonder, like, how many people would bring up Ryan Day or Dabo? I just don't. They'd be in the conversation, obviously.
I don't know if Ryan Day would.
I think people would take Dabo before Ryan Day.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Especially
agree.
in the South.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. And that's part of my reasoning for Ryan Day. But also, a little bit of the luster, you can't beat your rival. And then we're talking about
Right.
a pretty big rivalry that we play at the end of every season. Most seasons.
Question number 2. Here's a nightmare scenario for the Southeastern Conference. There are no dominant teams this year. Everyone beats each other. And the SEC champion is the only 9-win team in the entire league. The CFP invites one team to the college football playoff from the conference. Who are you putting your money on to be that one team?
I guess it'd probably have to. In an absolute nightmare scenario, I think I would put my money on Georgia. If you're telling me I just have to pick a team to win at least 9 games, I'm taking Georgia.
Again, Kirby Smart.
Yeah, it's hard to.
Hard to pick against them.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. But if we can't pick Georgia, I'd probably pick Texas.
Yeah.
It's just hard to picture. Am I going to be shocked if Georgia only wins 9 games this year? I wouldn't say I'd be shocked. I'd be a little surprised, maybe.
I'll be shocked.
Would I be shocked if they won 8 games? Absolutely.
I'd be shocked if they win 9.
I just feel like they got so much talent, and I'm gonna take the coaching.
It's
If I need to just win 9 games,
see Kirby, and even with maybe the talent, the depth not being what it has been, him not winning 10 games in a season.
well, and I got questions about Gunnar Stockton, but heck, I still saw him come in
Sure
and
we
beat
do.
Texas in the SEC championship. So that's a good question.
Question number 3. Outside of the Southeastern Conference, which one of these storylines will be covered the most by the national media in 2025? Texas Tech's roster investment, Colorado returns back to earth in 2025, or Belichick's every move in Chapel Hill?
it's going to be the Texas Tech investment. Colorado, the return to earth, I think people expect that, and it's not like their ascension was to the top of the college football world. Was it an improvement? Was it fun? Yeah. But North Carolina, I don't.
That just lost so much of its luster
it's lost a ton.
now that
Yeah.
Jordan's gone, or she's not in the public image.
And if North Carolina, unless they're doing something better than I just view North Carolina as a 7-6 team, year in, year out.
See, I was about to say I feel like if they were really bad, it would be that one.
Now Texas Tech, you can play it from both sides. They're winning. Look at what investing in college football has done for Texas Tech. They're losing. Wow, what an epic failure! What a waste of however many $1 million that Cody put towards this particular roster.
I think it'll be Texas Tech because the college football world will be watching how they do because of how much was put into that roster. And honestly, I've kind of forgotten about Colorado this offseason. And kind of like the Bill Belichick, it's kind of lost its luster.
See, I think it would be Colorado just because if things go poorly for them, I mean, you're probably going to get some good sound bites from Dion, and people are going to latch onto that stuff, and they're going to want, it's Dion. He's going to get a lot of headlines regardless. So I think it would be Colorado.
Who's our quarterback? Juju and somebody else?
Caden Salter.
That's right. Liberty kid.
Yep.
Question number 4. Why do you think a recent Gallup poll has found that less Americans are drinking alcohol?
I'd like to say for the health benefits, but maybe it's because of the legalization of other things in a lot of states.
That's the route that I was going.
Yeah.
I think you have other options if you want
that
to.
Maybe don't have the effect on you the next day that,
you don't feel
that
bad
a night
the
of
next day.
drinking would.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that on top of now, I'm not speaking about this in terms of like if you drink at home or whatever, but if you go out, play, I mean, it's
expensive.
It is. If you want to go somewhere and get a cocktail with dinner, I mean, most places it's at least $15 for one drink, and I'm not paying that. So, yeah, I think it's a little bit of what you said, Landrum, where you just have other options for recreational things, but it's also just really expensive.
What do you think it is?
I think it's economy. I think people, just like people aren't going out to they're not going to fast food restaurants anymore. There's like 3 or 4 fast food chains I read this week are in serious trouble.
Really?
Wow.
Oh, yeah. Like big names.
Yeah, fast food, that has taken a major dive.
Is the one that's closed on Sundays in good shape, though?
All indications are yes.
Okay, good. That's we got to protect that with all costs.
But there
That's God's chicken.
It is God's chicken. We got
one thing that I was always told was recession proof was liquor stores and alcohol, like and bars, but maybe not.
All right, 5th and final question that comes courtesy of BB.
By the way, we're not in a recession, so.
What did you feel deprived of as a child that you find yourself purchasing and indulging now?
I think it goes back to my mom. We would go back to school shopping and getting that pair of tennis shoes that I wanted, but she made me wait until the first day before I could wear them. And I would have to look at those beautiful, pristine, the way that those new tennis shoes smell. I just have to stare at them. Now I buy too many shoes. And Pat, you have helped me. This is like therapy. I think that's why.
What have I done?
No, you asking that question has now connected
Unlocked
the
it?
dots on
It's
why
unlocked
I go out of my way to order a pair yesterday. I love them. Can't have enough of them.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think of things that. Yeah, I mean, shoes would be one for me. Obviously, we talk about it a lot. Like I have shoes now that my mom would have never bought me as a kid that now I can have for myself because I think they're cool and everyone else loves to poo-poo on me for them.
You could poo-poo in that shoe.
I could,
and your shoe, your foot would never hit
exactly
hit the poo-poo.
I'd have room to
They're that big and that awkward.
Ooh, it might
That's
be like good
disgusting.
insulation.
Well, they have
anyways.
holes in them.
Yeah, so yeah. I'm done.
Molly?
I don't really know. Because I was thinking about shoes, and being honest, I couldn't tell you the last time I bought a pair of.
What were you deprived of as a child that now you find yourself going, you know what? I can do this now.
I don't know. I haven't lived a lot of life.
No, you haven't.
So I
That's a great line. I haven't lived a lot of life.
I mean, I still have hopefully a lot to live. So.
Well, was there anything they wouldn't let you watch on TV that you watch now?
No, like a lot of my friends weren't allowed to watch SpongeBob, but I was. So I have some friends that watch that now.
Okay.
I still don't like horror movies, so.
But you could watch all the horror movies you wanted to.
I could, but I'm not going to.
Yeah, maybe one day.
Or perhaps maybe you can get in your car and go wherever your heart desires now, where as a young person, you were probably, like most of us were, you were told you can't.
Be home by a certain time,
and you
curfew,
can't-
and
yeah.
you can't go here. Yeah, maybe that.
I'll say that's a good one because when I was a kid, and I was very fortunate, like my mom gave me an allowance for gas money, and that's what I used to put gas in my car to go to school and baseball and stuff like that and go back and forth. And you're very limited, like you're brought up, because I don't have expendable income when I was 16 years old. So, yeah, freedom. Freedom's a good one.
I'd take that gas money and I'd go to the track and try to double it.
And then you'd be taking the bus to school.
That's right.
That's today's Pat Ponders, brought to you by Courtesy GMC and Trustful. Get by and see them right now. The summer sales event continues on. Back to school savings all over the place. The 2026s are coming on the lot as we speak. Go to courtesybirmingham.com to find out more information on the greatest deals you're going to find anywhere in the Southeast, right there in Trustful, right off of I-459 exit 32.
Now, Conrad is all giddy because he has seen something bad. The worst thing that I've seen is next. 148, the worst thing I've seen coming up. Major League Baseball, day baseball going on right now. Orioles leading the Mariners 5-0 as they play in the top of the sixth inning right now. A rain delay there. A little bit later on, Pat's least favorite team, the Chicago Cubs, taking on the Blue Jays. They're at Rogers Center, and you got the Braves in action tonight. And that's where we're going to go with our friends at Prize Picks today. In case you have missed it, Prize Picks, it's the best way you can win real money this football season, heck, this baseball season, the sports season, the calendar year. Which players are going off, which ones aren't. You can make your picks in less than 60 seconds. Turn your sports opinions into real money all season long on Prize Picks. It's really easy. Download the Prize Picks app today. Use code WJOX. Get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. That's code WJOX to get $50 in lineups after you play your first $5 lineup. You don't have to win to get that $50 bonus credit. Prize Picks is simple to play. You just pick more or less on 2 to 6 player stat projections. If you get the picks right, you can win cash and up to 2,000 times your money. We are on a hot streak right now here on the show. We're going to go back to the well. You got the Mets and the Braves playing in Game 3 of this series. Michael Harris II, Pat documented it. He has been on fire in the second half of the season. Runs, hits, runs batted in. All of that combination. He's got to go more than 1.5. Feel like he can absolutely do that. And one of those goblin bets, easier to hit, payout is later. I'm going to go Marcell Ozuna, 0.5 on the runs plus hits plus runs batted in. Both of those player projections hit, I'm a winner. It can be that easy for you as well. Download the Prize Picks app. Good, bad. Conrad has seen something bad. The way that he reacted, I think you need to brace yourself for this one. This is the worst thing that Conrad has seen.
This is the worst thing I've seen.
Been in quarantine and I need to get out and party. Woo! What's better than beach and a few drinks and Jeeps? Man, getting better than that. Law enforcement's definitely made their visitability and made people chill out and not be as crazy. The cops are doing their job as long as they don't be mean to people who are actually being innocent. Then I'm all gravy, baby.
Well, let's just say I hope you didn't take a late lunch today. That's a great way to start off a segment, right? So for the worst thing that I have seen on this Thursday, we are going to go to the skies, as we typically do on this show. We love to go to the skies and to the ocean. A lot of plane stories, a lot of shark stories.
Passengers. That's all I got.
Okay. We'll see if you got something for us here in a second. So we are going to a United Airlines flight, and I'm going to look up this young lady real quick because she is apparently an actress. But this is a very unfortunate way for her to make her way into the headlines. So this is, okay, she is a TikTok influencer. So maybe, okay, we're calling them actresses now. Anyways, there is a United Airlines flight that was recently canceled after a female passenger, TikTok star Megan Reinertsen, freely admitted that she suffered an explosive bout of diarrhea and vomiting that destroyed the United Airlines flight's tiny bathroom.
Oh, Megan!
No.
So the writer and actor, as she is described in this story, freely admitted that she was to blame for the mid-air disaster, revealing she spent an hour and a half locked inside the lavatory during a flight from Newark to Indianapolis. An hour and a half.
My flight story from Dayton has nothing on this. An hour and a half?
Yeah, this is certainly something. So the woman says that the nightmare began for her just moments before she boarded her connecting flight home from Portugal, when she suddenly felt first waves of what she later would discover to be severe food poisoning. So she apparently, you can go see this on her TikTok account. I guess she did a recap of it. But in one of the videos, you can see her saying, "I knew something was brewing. Something is happening that I am not prepared to deal with." It says, despite her worst fears, she decided to take her seat and hope for the best. But within 30 minutes of the flight taking off, she was in her seat, drenched in sweat, doubled over in pain, and in tears. Fearing that she would end up like the story that we shared with you, I think it was last year, of a similar situation, but unfortunately it didn't happen in the bathroom, happened in the aisle of the plane, if you remember that one. But she didn't want to end up that way. So she decided that she was going to head to the bathroom early. She said, "For the next 20 minutes, I had more diarrhea than any human should ever have to deal with in their life." Unfortunately, she also soon started to experience vomit as well.
Bless her heart.
So she was dealing with both of these things. And she says that while she was stuck in the claustrophobic bathroom, she had the presence of mind to scream for help from flight attendants who came in and quickly gave her bags to help contain the mess. The flight crew very kindly allowed her to remain in the bathroom for the entirety of the flight. They even got special clearance from the pilot to remain in there during the landing process. So unfortunately, she was not able to make it back to her seat, but the next flight, or the connecting flight from that plane, had to be canceled and moved to a different aircraft so that they could clean up the lavatory.
Hey, just checking on you in there. We're about to land.
Okay. Golly.
Here's
that's one of those, and we've all been through this, not necessarily on a plane, but
No.
had a bout with a stomach. You're asking, how can there be anything left?
And here is the cherry on top of it all.
Oh, there's more.
So once they were on the ground, the flight attendant came to her aid and said, "A hazmat team will be coming to clean up the mess soon. I am a biohazard issue," she recalls. "I am patient zero," in the instance that she brought back some sort of disease from Portugal before they found out that it was food poisoning. And after they took her off the aircraft, she had to be taken to transportation in a wheelchair because she was incapable of walking because she was still in so much pain.
And she probably had to get IVs.
Yeah, you lost a lot of fluid.
That's horrible. It's
Food
horrible.
poisoning is no joke, though.
No, it is not.
No, it's
No,
not.
it is not.
But the thing to remember, though, food poisoning, typically you know it instantly. Like when I ate those wings and I'm standing there waiting to board the plane, I knew something was wrong. Like she said, she knew that something was brewing and it was going to be bad. That's why I think that poopery is a must. Take the poopery with you wherever you go.
It's a great invention. Yep.
It is great. And it works. And if you can get your phone to play really loud music while you're in the bathroom, that'd be great as well. By the way, she's got film credits: Homicide Hunter, The Ice Cream Man, Twisted Scripts, and The 12 Zodiac Signs, and a horror film.
Molly, looks like we know what you're watching this weekend.
She is now
No.
best known for explosive diarrhea and vomiting. That's going to do it for us. We appreciate it. Have a great rest of your Thursday. God is great.